All right, we'll get started. Pastor Clem, would you open us in a word of prayer, please?
Heavenly Father God, we just follow you tonight to lead us and guide us in this endeavor of governing our county, for the benefit of all of the residents, and having go to this court. That peace tonight. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Does anyone in the gallery want to make a public comment tonight? Anyone? All right, let's move into our consent agenda then. We have one pullout tonight for Commissioner Bruins, $556.60. Motion to approve, please.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries. The remainder of the consent agenda. Motion to approve, please.
So move.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, approve Goliad County holiday 2021. We've got the extra day in there for July 4th, as you requested.
Yes, sir.
Any questions about it? Does it look good,
Well, she still has the 25th.
sir?
She still has the 25th on here, and that's a Saturday.
Well, you're off.
You right?
You're off that day. So what would your preference be? Let's fix it. Do you want Thursday and Friday, or do you want Friday and Monday?
Okay, yeah, we usually give the 13 days, so I would say the 23rd and 24th
23rd and 24th.
would equal the same amount of days. And the rest of it looks good.
Any other questions, comments? Need a motion to approve that, please.
So move.
Second.
Second. Go ahead.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve 2021 Goliad County Resolution for Indigent Grant Program. This is the same one we had last year. I'll read it. Whereas under the provisions of the Texas Government Code, Section 79037, and the Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 173, counties are eligible to receive grants from Texas Indigent Defense Commission to provide improvements in indigent defense services in the county. And whereas this grant program will assist the county in implementation and improvement of the indigent criminal defense services in this county. And whereas Goliad County Commissioners Court has agreed that in the event of loss or misuse of the funds, Goliad County Commissioners assures that the funds will be returned in full to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. Now therefore be it resolved in order that the county judge of this county is designated as the authorized official to apply for, accept, decline, modify, or cancel the grant application for the Indigent Defense Formula Grant Program and all other necessary documents to accept said grant, and be it further resolved that the county auditor is designated as a financial officer for this grant. Any questions?
Same as it was last year. Is that right, Judge?
Same.
Okay.
Need a motion to approve that, please.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Next on the agenda, approve 5310 Individuals with Disability Grant Program Vendor Agreement Amendment Number 2 between Goliad County Rural Transit and the Golden Crescent Regional Planning Commission. New allocation fiscal year 21, total $15,000. Ms. Wade, do you have a comment? Nothing's changed. It's just same as it was last year. Anyone have any questions of Ms. Wade?
No, sir.
Need a motion to approve that, please?
So move.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's go ahead and do this one for you, Rusty. Item number 7, remove from the table the request to review expenses incurred by the county related to the Goliad County Memorial Auditorium. Need a motion to take that off the table, please.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, review expenses incurred by the county related to the Goliad County Memorial Auditorium. Mr. Fredericks?
Thank you, Judge. Each of y'all should have a sheet that has Memorial Auditorium expenses. And what I've done is I've summarized where we've come up with the numbers that we have thus far. The $27,054.57 is the county and the city's total amount that the county has paid out of accounts payable. That includes your utilities, minor repairs, things like that.
For this year?
That's for the period 1/1/19 through
Okay.
8/31/2020. Below that are the annual insurance premiums that the county has paid for the last 6 years. And again, keep in mind, the county has paid 100% of all these expenses that I'm reading out. Moving down, that $71,875 is the air conditioners that were added as part of the way services contract. And what makes that seem so expensive is every item that was purchased from Way, the county paid a 25% mobilization fee on top of the cost. I didn't share this, but I'm assuming all of y'all have seen this page. And I can give y'all copies if y'all want it. I can email it to you. But we bought 9 air conditioners. 4 of them went to the auditorium.
Are you talking the smaller ones on the bottom, because the ones on the top,
On the bottom.
on the bottom? Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, one of them's not small. The one up next to the stage is 7 ton, I think. And the other 3 are small. And when we got them, a man called all upset because his daughter was getting married the next day, and it was about the only cold snap we had last year. And we figured out that there were no heat strips in those air conditioners. And he was not a happy camper, so we got Armor Air out there to put heat strip, plug them in. So there was additional charge to that as well.
That's that $874 that you see on there. Okay. Below that, you see the cost of the bathroom repairs. the 49,000. When you sum up all of those expenses, it totals $206,982.29. Splitting that in two, the city's portion is $103,491.15. Now, let me caution you. I've asked for prior years' insurance expenses prior to these 6 years here because the county has paid it every year. I don't think there's any question about that. And it's never been reimbursed. So I think it's only fair that the city should pay their half. But I've got to get TAC to split that out because they don't, in those prior years, they didn't bill it like they do now, where it's broken down by building or location. So just so you know, these numbers will go up.
So how far do you propose to go back?
10 years.
10 years? And you should have an estimate of those costs when?
I would say by the next Commissioners Court meeting.
Anyone have any questions?
I think Sherry, the city finance person is here, and you had some information on some stuff.
If you'd come up and step up here, we'd be able to hear you, ma'am. Thank you.
Amounts that we paid for when the auditorium was, the roof was put on, we paid the $182,000, which was asked for, that's how much they asked for us to pay.
Right.
Then they come back and ask us for another $12,000 for the air conditioners to be removed and replaced. We paid $194,000 on that.
That's the ones on the top of the roof.
I'm not sure which air conditioners they were. And the county had the checkbook and took care of all the operating expenses for I don't know how many years. And if they had a bill for the insurance, I don't understand why they didn't call the city and ask for the money to be put into that account. They always did if they got short on anything else. You know, we give $1,500 a year to that account, and if it goes too low, they always called and asked for us to put more of whatever we needed to put in there. You know, we take it to council and get it approved and send it to the city. And especially on the roof, same thing. They asked us for the money, and council approved it. So I don't know why it wasn't ever paid.
These expenses that I'm mentioning today,
Mm-hmm.
prior to the insurance, all of these are dated January the 1st, 2019 and later.
We never received a bill for that.
My office sent the mayor copies of the bills on a monthly basis, starting in 2019.
What about the other years?
The only other thing in the other years are the insurance, which has never been billed.
It's never been billed to us, so we didn't know we owed it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That, like I said, it goes back a long way.
Yes, sir. And then on the air conditioning units, I don't know why they didn't give us a bill for that if we owed for that.
The city paid for, like what the judge said, they replaced some air conditioner units up on the roof,
Yes, sir.
and y'all paid your
The
portion
$12,000 of it.
of those. These are the ones that went downstairs. There were 4.
Okay, what I have asked Vicki to try to find in the clerks and back in records, if the county, for some reason at one time, way before our time, had agreed to pay the insurance, but to keep it all under one umbrella. I don't know. We've been looking, and I think Sherry was going to see if they could find maybe an old interlocal agreement
Looking for it.
that would maybe state the same thing. But, so this is something we're still looking into and trying to find. So, but we did in March, when we redid the interlocal agreement of this year, we did agree to share all expenses. Okay, so, but that was when we voted in that interlocal agreement, which was probably around March.
Okay, well,
But,
can I say something?
yes, sir, yes.
The interlocal agreement that you have in effect today, the exhibits are not the exhibits for that interlocal agreement?
Yeah, there was 2 exhibits, and you had asked
You
about.
gave me those.
Yes.
Those are dated in 1918.
28.
I mean, yeah, 2018,
2018.
before this interlocal agreement was done. It appears these exhibits probably went to the interlocal agreement prior to the one that's supposedly in effect. So I really question the legality of it because there are no exhibits that I can find for this current interlocal agreement. And there's references an A and a B, but there's, I haven't seen them.
I've got a copy of it, and I'll send it to you.
Right, and I gave it to them. One of them is a statue of some kind, right?
But again, those are dated in 2018.
That's correct. See,
Are
we
you saying that
did,
the exhibits did not change, only the contract?
I don't think the contract had changed that much because when we couldn't find the original, they had a copy of it, the agreement at the city. So I think we basically just went back by that, and that's where it talked about the 2 exhibits.
My
But so,
question is, how can you have exhibits that are dated a year prior to the date of the interlocal agreement?
well, we voted it in. I mean, I don't know. What do you?
Well, I mean, I
I
think,
guess
I
you
think it
should
needs
have
to be
asked that
revisited.
question that day when we voted on it.
Well, I never saw a copy of it, and I think y'all just passed it out the day you voted on it at the
No,
time of
sir.
Commissioner's
No,
Court
sir.
meeting.
I passed it out in, it was November of 2019 when I first passed that out. I went to the judge's office and handed you
I
a
asked
copy.
you for another copy, and you
Yes, sir.
sent me exhibits from 2019.
Right.
So I don't know whether you made a mistake or there aren't any that where the dates coincide with the actual contract. I don't know the answer to that. I don't want to get off in the weeds here.
Right.
Really, what we're talking about is government, people come in and they go out, This, for the most part, this took place before we came on the scene. And we think it's really obvious that the county has been paying 100% of the insurance premiums since, for all I know, 1970. I don't know, I don't have any way of knowing that.
Right.
But I will say that we've been picking up 100% of them, as near as we can tell. But if you have records that say that that's not the case,
Yes, sir.
we'd be more than interested. We just want to get down to it and get everything squared up because y'all have control of it now, and you're running with the ball. And so we're trying to get squared up on our end. So
The city doesn't control it. It's
That-
the
That's what I was just going to throw in there. We have a committee,
committee.
not the city
going to control it.
and not the county.
okay, well,
It's
the
put up
city's
together
in
with the
control of
city.
their checkbook, and we're sending them invoices. And my thought is that they need to write the checks.
We are.
So
Any bill
And-
that I get in, I pay on the auditorium.
And again, I suggest that you send the bills to Sherry. I mean, because, the judge here for the county, people don't send him the bills, they send them to the auditors or the treasurer's office. So, yeah, I don't know what the mayor did with that, but obviously it didn't get to her, and she is the financial. Right. Okay. I got you. Okay.
But she did, just did send it to me last week, so I do have it now.
Let me say this, if there's any questions that you have, and you'd like for me to come over and go over them with you, I'll be glad to.
Can I ask you a question on this, on the 20 operating expenses? What about the income? Is that less, is that just operating expenses? It doesn't say
That's
anything
just,
about
that's just,
income.
that's just monies that we have spent.
Well, what about the money that's
I
coming
think
in?
there was only like $3,000 or $4,000 in that, and I sent those, there was a Freedom of Information request, so I sent a copy of every deposit that we have received,
Yes, sir.
and I think a copy of all the checks as it relates to that. So you are correct, whatever amount that was in that deposit, or in that account, half of it would need to be deducted from that.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So I'm not sure that 2 weeks is enough to get all this sorted out. So I guess that we will just take no action, and we'll bring it up when you two are ready to proceed, or
That's fine.
it's been resolved.
Okay.
So we'll take no action on this.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. When I ran for office, be Goliad County Judge, my two main points of focus was to lower taxes and increase the tax base by bringing in new business into the county. And so far, we're working on that. It seems to be going fairly well. Both the budgets that we've passed under my watch have been balanced, and the taxes have actually come down. There are multiple solar facilities that are vying to come into our county. We're moving in the right direction. What's happened in the last few weeks, I think, is the wrong direction. Our cash reserves may be completely depleted before the last week in December, when tax payments start coming in. The county auditor and the independent outside auditor have both repeatedly warned that our cash reserves are way too low. So I'm going to try to explain where we are now, how we got here, and what we need to do to correct it. State law says that we have to give each elected official an ample amount of money to run their department, to take care of their business. So there's always some cushion built in so that we can get that done, so they don't have to come back to the well for more money. The monies that are not used in those individual budgets go back into the general fund to use for cash for the next year. That's what's supposed to happen. This year, 3 of the commissioners opted to transfer their excess ad valorem tax money into road and bridge material. This, despite the fact that at current, today, in the 4 precinct that counts, there's about $1.2 million in special road and bridge. And they will get 300,000 to 400,000 more at the end of the budget year that we're in now. So this is going to build up a fairly good sized nest egg quickly. They spent most of their funds for road and bridge material in the month of September, which is contributing to our cash shortage. We have budgets, but if you don't have the cash to back it up, then you can't spend that money.
Excuse me, you're saying we spent more than our budget?
I did not say that. What I said was that you opted to spend money for road and bridge in September, which depleted our cash reserves that we have to operate on.
That was in our budget.
That's right.
Yes, that's when we do most of our work, is in September. That's when we get our outside contractor to do our seal coating.
The last 2 weeks in September?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Well,
whole,
that should have come out of your road and bridge, special road and bridge fund.
I had money in my Avalorum side.
I understand that. Just let
So,
me
so
let me
wait a
go
minute.
just.
So we're not supposed to spend our budget? Or we're not supposed to spend the money in our road and bridge account in our Avalorum side? We're supposed to just, I don't get that.
Spend it in your special road and bridge, and we can return monies back, because we've been warned repeatedly that those reserves are too low.
Yes,
No.
but we gave back $2 million or so a couple of months ago. Why is it low again?
I'm glad you asked. I can help with that.
Well, wait, can I
This
say
is a-
something
just
real
a second.
quick?
This is a,
Yeah,
this is,
hold on.
just a second. This is a complete list of all the special road and, excuse me, I'll start over. This is a complete list of all the individual restricted accounts that belong to the county. Ms. Wade's easy to pick on. She had $500,000 in her account that we had to take out of those ad valorem funds to fund all these different accounts. There's tons of them, and there's a lot of money involved. So now we have $1.7 million left in our available cash. And we have 5 or 6 payrolls left, plus electric bills and everything else that goes with it. The best estimate is, it looks like we're going to spend $980,000 for payroll, $850,000 for operating expenses. We're going to be run really, really close.
And
When
we
these-
gave back $2
When
million.
these auditors tell you over and over again that you need to start restocking your reserves, what they really mean is you need to start restocking your reserves. If we could talk people to start paying taxes in September, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But people don't pay their property taxes until the last week of the month, of the year, depending on which side they need to be on of January 1st. The cash reserves are very, very low.
But
And we
2
took
months
that $2
ago,
million
you brought it to court for us to give back this money, which you couldn't figure out what the dollar amount was.
Okay,
It still was different than what was on the screen that the outside auditor, Steve, was giving us. And so the 2 million's gone already? Really?
yeah, it went in here. She got $500,000 of it. Yeah,
So
It all
what are you
went.
getting at? We're not supposed to spend our budget? I don't get
Okay.
that. We're not supposed to do any road work?
no, I didn't say that at all. You have a lot of numbers. You have $1.2 million in your special road and bridge accounts,
Which
combined in the 4 precincts.
which in 2021, we're giving, most of us, half. I think Mickey's given up almost all of his. So,
Well,
for the 2021 budget.
I didn't give it all away. I built my budget.
Yes, I understand.
This is a cash flow.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying.
You know, I hate to keep on dredging all this up, but when we arrived on the scene, all the money was in one large pot.
Right, the
And
banks had changed.
Ms. Wade didn't have a clue where her money was, nor did the sheriff, nor did anyone else that had restricted accounts. Princess, you name it. The JPs, the commissary account at the jail, all those accounts, it was in one bucket. Now, why was that? I personally think it was to make our bottom line look better. But those were restricted accounts that did not belong to the county. They have very strict uses, and they can't be used for anything else other than what's specified in those restrictions. Nothing else. So, all those accounts are funded now. Every one of them are funded. How much did we put in those accounts?
I don't know the total of it all at one time.
What paper are you looking at?
This comes directly from the bank about
We don't have a copy?
that. I don't know.
This is just a, I didn't know we were going to get, this is just a, this is,
Is
This
this
is-
what's on the agenda? Is
This
what
has to
we're
do
doing?
with
it's
your,
on
yeah, this has to do
Which,
with,
which agenda item is it? Because we got two.
has to
back.
do with taking money out of the air park.
So which one, this is the one about the airport.
this is number 6.
So we're getting to where we're going to, well, mine aren't numbered.
So last year, 6th month, last year, I got up and told everybody when we started the first time we did a budget, I told everybody at court that we've had Ms. Wade show up for a budget hearing with us, and she said she had $500,000 somewhere, nobody could tell her where it was. We didn't know. It's the first time we've talked to anybody about it. The next meeting we have with the sheriff, he tells us the same thing. At that time, I told everybody in this court, I can no longer give you a treasurer's report until Lee got all this stuff straightened out. She's gotten it straightened out. We built funds, special road and bridge, general road and bridge for each precinct. We got the sheriff, his commissary split out, drug seizures,
Yeah.
abandoned vehicles,
Could you get us a copy of that?
funded all of that.
We can get all the copies you want. Here's the bottom line. It's a cash issue. It's a cash issue. There's not enough cash.
So by the time I funded all of these funds, the way they were supposed to have been done, should have been done this way a long time ago, we drew down the money market account that we had to $21,000 or something in that effect, and that just left the air park. I busted that off into its own fund too. That's all we've got left is the air park money and $21,000 in the money market, because all that stuff had been condensed into one account and wasn't broken up the way it should have been for years before we got here. And until Lee could get all of these accounts straightened out, nobody knew how much money we had because there was no way to tell.
So do you know now?
Yes, we know now. That's why we're here to tell you.
Here, you can have this copy.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a cash flow issue. A cash flow issue. And
Now-
rather than transferring, and it's really interesting that you guys all came up with the same idea on the same day, that you were going to transfer all your excess ad valorem into road materials. I guess y'all all had a dream.
What have we been saying all year? We do all our road work mostly at the end of the year. That's when we get our seal coater to come
You
in.
hear me arguing with you about that?
What,
I'm
then-
telling you, you've got
No,
money in your special road and bridge tax. We need to start building up our reserves.
You said we spend it all in September, but that works up from the whole year. I don't know what you're getting
David,
at.
I'm gonna say this real slow. You have, look at the bottom, look at the second sheet.
I'm trying to see what.
Okay, look at precinct 4.
They're
How
highlighted
much
on the
you
back
have in
page.
Special roads, it's in yellow. Tell us how much you have in special road and bridge. 300 and something $1,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were to use that 300 and something $1,000 out of your special road and bridge tax, which is funded, the special is funded, then you could have taken all the transfers you made and returned it so that we would start building up our reserves again. You got to have cash in the bank. I've said this, I hope nobody's Nigerian here, but this is not a Nigerian checkbook. Just because we have checks doesn't mean that you have the cash in the bank to cover it.
What would that have done to my 2021 budget? Because I'm giving $160,000 out of that $300,000 for my 21 budget. So you wanted me to bust my special road and bridge budget and then where would I got the money for 2021?
I'm really trying, but I'm not
You're,
understanding
you're,
the word.
you're fixing to get
Saying
funded.
I should have spent that money first.
You're fixing to get funded another $300,000 or $400,000.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
As soon as everybody pays in, you're going to get, that doesn't have your money for this next budget in it. That's what we have in the bank as of today.
It says,
You're
it says we have
combining years.
$5.8 million. You're
That-
saying we have
No, sir.
2 million and then
I told you,
21,000.
I told you, a lot of those accounts in there, like Mary Wade's is in there too. That's not ours to run and to spend.
Well, take 800,000, throw it away, and there's
There's
5.
more than 800,000.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay.
So you want more money out of our special road and bridge tax,
No, I don't. I never
Okay.
said that.
okay?
What I said was, use your money in ad valorem, return that money, and buy the materials that you bought, recode it, and buy those materials out of your special road and bridge money. You've got over $300,000. Why is that funny, sir?
Because what did I tell you? I have a bridge that I'm probably going to have to build, and I have a maintainer that's a 1980 model. There's 300,000. There's probably $1 million right there. So where am I going to pay for this with?
You've
What
got
are you
another
going to do?
$300,000 coming in the budget we're in now.
What happened to the 2 million that we gave up 2 months ago?
Again, we funded that sheet that I just handed you, added up.
You said we were only 800,000 or something to meet all the bills at that point. You said it was 800 something thousand would get us to December.
David,
That's what you said.
David, we had to fund those restricted, I can't,
I
y'all
don't-
get
I
what
can't
I'm
talk to
saying?
you either.
Do you understand?
David,
I understand what you're saying.
one thing I want to point out.
But here's the point. We never were told how those restricted accounts, how low they were. We gave you, like you says, 2.1 million the first time, though, everybody here.
Got it.
And then we gave you another 700 or 800,000 the second time.
I don't remember 2 times.
That was
Right.
initial, that
Right.
second time, didn't that go into the next year's budget?
Sir?
When we were giving money back out of, taking money into our special road and bridge out of the ad valorem, that's for next year.
That's to get us through the remainder of this year and fund all these restricted accounts.
But-
He's
Okay.
got the list. He can add it up, maybe.
But we gave you twice, Judge. The
Okay.
2.1 million the
It
first time.
doesn't matter how many times
I know,
you've done it.
I'm just
When
saying.
we got here, all of it was in one pile.
I understand.
There was no way of knowing how much was there. Now we know. It's all listed. He's got the accounts in his
There
hand.
it is, right there. I just got it.
So
10
you're
minutes.
saying the general fund, the restricted funds are all in one pot?
All the money was in one pot. All the money was in one pot.
Until we enacted the special road and bridge.
The special road and bridge was set aside.
That's right.
All the money was in one pot for the restricted funds, everything from the clerk to Michelle at the tax office, the library. The library had $150,000. That's where some of your money went. We spent $150,000 giving Claudine her money back, so she'd have excess to 150, 500. Now we're at 650, and that's just 2 of them. They were all in a, I don't know how to explain it any clearer than that. I just don't.
So how much you need now? 250,000 like you're asking here on this agenda item?
We have $1.7 million in available cash. We're expecting it to be 1.7 to get us through the year.
Well, 1.4.
Go ahead, Russ.
One thing I want to point out, David, is your budget this year in the general fund,
Say it again.
your 2019-20 budget, general fund budget, you exceeded your budgeted amount by $22,000.
That's correct.
So where's that money going to come from?
Well, it jumps over to the road, special road and bridge is what they told us. If we run out on our ad
You-
valorem general side, then it comes out of the special road and bridge.
We don't move things until you say, I want this coded this way. You spent some money on your special road and bridge for road materials.
I coded one thing to leave with some culverts out of the special road and bridge earlier. And I believe I don't, well, I
You,
guess.
you have multiple line items in the general fund, road and bridge, that are in the negative.
Right.
And
I
if you look at
moved a
your
lot
very
around.
bottom line, you exceeded your budget by over 20,000.
That's correct, 21,000.
Okay. No one else did, by the way.
I know that.
Okay.
I see that. I knew I was.
So all these accounts are straight now. They haven't been straight in God knows how many years, and nobody knew anything about how much was in any of them. Even the owners of the accounts had no idea. So Lee got all that figured out, and then we spent a load of cash out of ad valorem right before the end of the budget year, whereas if it would have been spent out of special, we wouldn't be having this discussion because special is funded. All right.
There's we also had to use that money that y'all gave back to fund back the clerk's office where they were pulling money out to pay Ms. Bland. That account was drawn over $160,000.
And he makes 160.
No, it had been drawn over. Her paycheck was supposed to have been getting paid by some kind of fees or fines or whatever it was, records management. It didn't sustain her payroll. That had to be put back in there too. So that was $160,000 right off the bat. What y'all gave back got ate up pretty quickly.
Look,
There
all
again, we
this
had a
stuff,
budget for,
all this stuff is demonstrable. The fact that you don't understand doesn't keep it from being true. So let me finish, and then y'all can decide whether or not you want to help replenish this cash reserves we have or not help. It's, as usual, it's your choice.
that's the law.
Okay. So, the material that you bought the last 2 weeks in September, most of that won't get used until late spring of 2021.
It's on the road right now. It's laid out.
You put it down, you bought it in late September and it's already down?
Well, that's maybe when the bill came for the material, but no, we had the material brought in August.
Then you should have bought it out of your special road and bridge account. Because and the fact that you don't understand is okay, we're happy to help you with that. But the special road and bridge account is funded. It's funded through, the ad valorem tax depends on cash in the general fund to operate. You don't understand the word I'm saying.
What I do know, this is what I do know, that you used a $750,000 grant to balance our 1920 budget.
That is not true.
Well, you know, that's what I see. So
Well-
therefore, that's why we're in the hole on our budget,
You're
right?
so wrong about this. You're way out in
So
Mars.
why is a balanced budget
If you saw the
not balanced? Why is a balanced budget not balanced?
That is, you shouldn't
Explain
say
that.
out in
Why
public.
is a balanced budget not balanced? It was
It
balanced.
is balanced, but you
David-
got to have the cash to back it up.
No.
Our cash reserves in our general fund are not sufficient.
So you put money in people's budgets that's not really there, right? That's what you did?
You'll have to.
That
Because
is
it's
the
not a
farthest thing
balanced
from the
budget.
truth, and I resent you saying that. That grant money, if you bother to look up under the revenues, you'll see Community Development Block Grant. And it's got $723,000 in revenue. If you go down and look at the expenses, you'll find expenses that total $723,000.
Including somebody's budget that was 200. It was
Part of
labeled
it was in there.
road and bridge material, not grant,
Stop.
right?
Part of it was in there, the $200,000 that was going to be used in his precinct. He was told from the get-go what it was. I had told him during the course of the budget year, don't
Russ-
use that money.
So he was gonna do road work
No.
outside of that La Bahia area on $4,000.
I don't approve the budget, y'all do.
He's got 130 in
It was
special
not
road
a
and bridge.
balanced budget, right?
Sir?
right? It was not a balanced budget.
It was absolutely a balanced
Then
budget.
why don't we have the money?
I want to say something.
Look,
I want to say
I'm
something.
going to,
And my 21 can come out of my special
say
road and
something.
bridge, because that's where it's supposed to come
Let
from.
me say something. First off, the special road and bridge money you're holding on to, which is taxpayers' money, not ours. It's
Not in
taxpayers.
2021.
It ain't got here yet. But you're holding on to special road and bridge money that cannot go back in the general fund. I've turned everything and built my budget out of special road and bridge money because we don't have a reserve built up. That's why I did what I did. Y'all spent every penny of your ad valorem money and saved your special that you cannot turn back into the general fund instead of doing what's right for the taxpayers.
Well, you ought to see my roads out in precinct.
You ought to see all of them, but
They're
when
happy.
you ain't got no money, you got
The
to.
taxpayers are happy out there.
Well, you're holding on to road and bridge money that's special.
We
and
are
you-
not.
And
2021, I'm giving half of it up.
There
you go.
You ought to build your whole budget out of it and not touch the ad valorem. But that's not what y'all are doing. You're holding on to your. You came in here the last time we give Kenneth Edwards $100,000, and right after the meeting you said he was not going to spend it. It was going back into the general fund. You told me standing right there. And I asked you, why in the hell did we come up here if that was what we were going to do? Did you not say that?
He's got 223,000 left.
He says, I'm going to save this $100,000 special so I can buy a piece of equipment. He's got a $75,000 line item to buy a piece of equipment, and he's still holding on to $100,000.
okay, I want to clear up just a couple of things. You are 100% wrong
On
on
which one?
$723,000. I can teach you how to read a spreadsheet.
This is
I can
taxpayers'
teach you how to do that, but right now you are all fouled up.
It says
And
he
nothing
has
you're saying is
$223,000 left over. That's what it says right there. Does it? That's what it says right there.
Okay, we'll go over it with you and teach you, because you don't understand. You just flat don't understand. I'm going to finish
I
reading this
understand.
and we're going to move
I
on.
promise you I understand.
You don't understand. Trust me, you don't understand.
I don't.
Okay. Additionally, Commissioner Edwards came to court, asked for $200,000 under the premise that we took $200,000 out of his budget, which didn't happen. It's not true. It's not based in reality. It was the amount that we thought would be coming on this grant. That's what that money was. And he was told by the engineer that he would not be spending that money. Mr. Edwards told me, he said, I never met with an engineer. I never met with an engineer.
Are you talking about the GLO grant?
Am I talking about who, sir?
When you said I never met with who?
You said you never talked to the engineer.
I'd have, many times.
You said like 3 times in court last week that you'd never talked to the engineer.
No.
You said you didn't know anything about it. You said you didn't know
I-
it was.
Now, when the roads came to me, she had selected the roads. I took her around, we talked about them, but I never had a part in the selection. She did that, yes, sir.
Okay, but
But I have been in communication with them all along. But the only part that I didn't have a real say is, she told me later that, if I didn't want that, if I wanted more, we could talk about it. That was the road she picked. I'm fine with it. Because any road's better than what we got, and I intend to pick up and finish the rest. I can't just leave them half done, because sometimes it's not a whole road. It might be 400 feet of one.
okay, so you've changed your mind and you did meet the engineer? Because I had her write me a letter that says, in fact, you had 4 phone calls with her and 1 on-site visit with her. And last week you told this court, or 2 weeks ago, I suppose, that you'd never met with an engineer. So if you understand now, that's fine. Regardless, you told me that you didn't think you were going to need that $100,000, and you said the same thing. You spent every dime of it, every dime of it.
You
You
show,
have $130,000 in your special road and bridge account.
and I've got 75,000 in next year's budget. If I didn't save that road and bridge money in my special, I wouldn't have but $75,000 next year.
You came to the court under false pretense, saying that you did not know.
That's true.
Okay.
And the only conversation I had was with Lee, and we were talking about the $723,000 that was in the revenue. But we never discussed what was in my line. And when I asked her later, in July, because that's like David said, that's when we start spending most of our road money, is in the late summer, because that's when we got the chip sealers coming and all this. I double checked, because before I started spending, I wanted to make sure. I was told, I checked my budget versus actual. It got down to $150,000 before anybody told me I didn't have any money in there. Out of $204,000, I had $4,000 in my road and bridge line of real money.
But you've got 130 in special today.
Yes. And as I said, if I spend that, I only have $75,000 next year.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, you came in here saying you needed it, but you weren't going to spend it, and everybody you came in asking for 200,000, and we cut you down to 100, and you said, I probably won't need that. You said the same thing, and you went in and spent every dime of it.
I didn't, you know what, Judge, I stopped spending at that point, really. That's what I had already ordered.
Okay, well, that was all for road materials, and it should have been spent out of the special road and bridge tax, which is for road materials. So where does that leave us? It took another $130,000 or so out of our cash, and we're just going to be $130,000 shorter than we would have been. There's just not enough cash. Y'all have been spending money for the last 4 or 5 years. We can show you the millions that have left the building. And again, it's not funny. It's really serious. Millions of dollars.
Well, that's what road work. We don't do it for free. Nobody out there is going to do it for free.
I'm not talking about road work. I'm talking about other things. Other things. So you spend money. You spend money.
It always seems to be you're saying that everybody in the past has done everything wrong.
No, sir.
I mean, from when Goliad County became a county. Right? Is that what you, that's what you say?
I don't remember saying that, David.
Well, that's
what
it
I
sounds
remember saying is that y'all spent millions of dollars in the last 4 or 5 years that is not coming back into the building unless we start replenishing this account. This is not money that's going in my pocket. This is money that needs to go back in the piggy bank so that we can stretch between October 1st, which is when the budget starts, and the last week in December when people start writing checks and replenishing the coffers. This is not difficult. This is a cash flow thing. Again, it's not funny.
But there again, we got I'm not laughing. There again, we got $5 million, right? Is there $5 million in the bank? No, there's not $5 million. Why does it say $5 million?
David, if you'll look at those counts.
Every account.
That has Mary Wade's $500,000. It has your $1.2 million in your special road and bridge in there.
Well,
It has
there's $3 million left.
$150,000 in the library's fund.
It has everybody's stuff in there. It's not our money.
So what do you want to do? Well, I don't get it.
Okay,
We've
okay,
already spent
okay.
the money. We
I'll
fixed
give
our
it to
road.
you so that you'll get it. I want y'all to recode all these transfers you made last week and take that money out of your special road and bridge, because that's what you bought with it, road materials. And I want you to take that ad valorem money and return it back to the general fund of the county so that we won't be stretched so tight. Because the last week in December, when these people don't get paid,
You come to court, and we'll find the money
See,
then.
I knew
How
you were
about
gonna-
that? How about that?
you are not the banker for the county. That's
Yes,
called-
we are. We are. The 5 of us are the bankers for the county. We make the choices
Your
of what
pre-
bills are paid.
Your
We make
precinct-
those choices.
Your precinct accounts are not the bank account that the county operates out of. That's called the general fund. And again, this is not funny. This is a serious deal.
You know what you told me about 3 weeks after you took office?
What'd I tell you?
You said, y'all sure got a lot of money in an account. Why don't y'all spend some of it? Why don't y'all spend some of that money? You told me that.
Why aren't you fixing your roads?
My roads are great. You ought to see them.
Okay?
Anybody out here from Precinct 4?
Listen.
I don't talk about your road, because I know that.
There's a special road and bridge tax that is designated for road repair. And there's $1.2 million in those accounts as we speak, and there's another 300 coming to you before the end of the year, at the end of this budget cycle. And somehow y'all were all able to just get together and I guess
Oh, yeah,
it was
we
a
got
vision.
together and did
You're
this?
not even supposed to talk to one another as a group, and you all decided that you were going to transfer all your ad valorem money in a special road and bridge and do it on the same day, and none of y'all talk. Yeah, and I got some teeth underneath my pillow tonight. It's going to be great. Okay. So I want y'all to do, you know what I need you to do. You know what I want you to do. I want you to recode this and put this ad valorem money back in the general fund so that we can stretch it.
What I'm going to
I
tell
think
you,
we've
what
talked
I'm
it to
going to
death.
do,
Let's vote on it.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 21,188 and I'm going to code that to my special road and bridge, and that's it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
So
Because that's
we've
the
got
way
all
it
on-
works.
We got it all on the table.
That's
Mr.
the
Everett's
way it
not going to
works.
give his back, and I don't know what Alonzo's going to do, or Mickey. Mickey's already done his. So I'm going to make a motion.
What do you mean Mickey's already done his, Judge?
Sir?
What do you mean Mickey's already done his?
I can't understand you. I'm sorry.
I said, what do you mean Mickey's already done his?
I've agreed,
Bunch out of here.
I've agreed to give back the ad valorem money that I didn't spend, that I didn't go out and code every damn thing under the sun so that I could spend it before it went back in the general fund. I used my special road and bridge money to take care of my bills.
Okay.
That's what I did. Y'all spent ad valorem money, could have went back to help the taxpayers, not us, the taxpayers, but you didn't. You saved your special road and bridge and spent that money. That's what you did. Simple as pie. But hey, I don't care what y'all do. Y'all gonna rob.
So what do you need total amount here, Judge? What you asking for? The 250,000, or what do you want?
You don't have enough. I need all.
It'll never be enough.
You don't have enough.
It'll never be enough.
To answer your question, you don't have enough.
I'm talking about you.
We're trying to build it back so that we can get through the thin times. It's pretty easy. What's payroll worth? 200,000? $185,000 to $200,000 every 2 weeks. We got 7 deals done. That's $1.4 million, and we're not including light bills yet.
Well, I say when it gets to that point, then bring it to court, and the court will vote on the pay for it and where it comes from. That's what we do.
Well,
Okay,
here's the bottom
all right.
line.
We do that every 2 weeks here.
You can't
We vote
give
to pay
special road
bills
bridge
and
money
where it
to
comes
light
from.
bills. You can't give special road and bridge money to light bills.
You can't.
You can
take
only
your
spend
special
road and bridge money on fuel, oil, road maintenance, equipment repairs, vehicle repairs, buy equipment, whatever that pertains to that road. But you can't give that special road and bridge money to nothing that outside of road work, period. You can pay salaries, but you cannot give it to light bills. You can't. Exactly, you can't pay,
Correct.
All right, I'm going to answer
Clerk's
Alonzo's
office.
question.
I mean.
There's
Jesus.
not enough money. We're way short on our reserves.
I understand that.
Okay,
But
so-
you're asking for money to make it to the end of the year. Is that what you're asking?
What I'm asking for is you to take your 17, or I think you had about $17,000 in transfers that you moved to. About 17.
I
He
don't
had 25. I don't remember what you did. You had, how much? Okay. I want you to take your money that you transferred into road materials, recode it, spend that, take the money out of special road and bridge to replenish it, and take that ad valorem tax money that you were going to use to buy the special road and bridge and put it in a general fund. That's pretty simple.
That's fine, but I'll take mine out of my special road and bridge and put it back in there. How you gonna code
That's
something?
that's what we're asking for.
How you gonna code something?
There you go.
You didn't hear him.
How are you gonna code something that's already coded and it's after October 1? But new budget starts October 1.
I don't know.
Let's tamper with government papers.
We're already coded and the new budget starts October 1 is my question.
You have to ask them. I don't know.
So I'm saying, take the money out of my special road and bridge and put it in.
You can't legally do
Can't
that.
do that.
You can't do that.
No,
We
we
just-
can
Alonzo,
pay the bills out of
Cannot
special.
do that.
Alonzo, what you can do,
But I think we can recode it.
If that's legal, I'll do that. If it ain't,
If it's
I ain't.
legal, we'll do it. If it isn't, we won't. That's the way I roll.
Okay, that's fine with me.
He's already said
Okay.
he won't do it.
I spent
Haven't
the
heard
money
the
in my budget that I was budgeted. That was a balanced budget. So there you go. That's how it works, right?
So what
Balanced budget.
So whatever I spend, where's that sheet?
don't use the word balanced budget to describe your budget because you overspent your budget.
21,000, but
Okay,
I
but
had
you
money in my
overspent.
special
All right,
road and
so
bridge to
what I would
cover
like
that.
to do is make a
Right?
motion.
Well, let's get the amounts, Judge, if I will, please, off that spreadsheet, what each one of us
What,
is gonna get.
each of y'all has this sheet right now.
What sheet is that?
It's the one that, cash and cash equivalents.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 pages.
Okay?
Okay. You see it on that top right-hand corner? You've got precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay?
What I did was, I looked at what you had spent in road materials in general and special. What I'm recommending is $100,000 be reclassed out of precinct 1 into special. Yours would be 89,000. Mr. White has already said he's going to transfer 150,000. And David could have given up 95,000.
No, 21,000. I'm sticking to my balanced budget.
That's fine.
So what's your motion, Judge?
I'm going to make a motion.
You're going to make the motion?
Is that a problem for you?
I thought.
Is that a
I
problem
thought the
for you?
judge
That's a
always
yes, no
broke the
question.
ties. No, go ahead.
Do you want to make it?
No, sir, I think Mickey probably would.
I don't care who makes it.
Do you want to include those numbers that you just read, or just, I was going to have them return the money that they transferred out of ad valorem.
I just want, if these are the numbers, that's why I wanted the numbers, exactly what we're gonna transfer.
Read them out, Alonzo, and you can make the motion.
Well, he read them. Russ just read them. That's the ones he just read. Is that correct?
You read mine incorrect.
Do what?
He read mine incorrect. And he's on lead precinct 1 with no money in his special road and bridge.
44,000.
He's got 131,000 in special road and bridge.
You want him to take 100,000 out, so that leaves him 41.
It's, n-
How much did he budget out of that for 2021?
just a minute, Mr. Howard. He spent money that wasn't his to spend because he can't read the spreadsheets.
So what?
Now, that's the facts.
So he did take some money out of special road and bridge for 2021 to cover his next year's budget, right? No. He didn't use any special road and
Not
bridge?
one penny contributed by precinct 1 to cover his budget.
Because he had what in there? 70,000 in his special road?
Between 75 and 100,000 out of this current year's budget, not next year's.
Right. So how much was he going to use out of the special road and bridge next year out of that savings on the special road and bridge?
0.
0?
That's what I said.
And he's got 3 tractors that sit in the yard that don't run and roads to build. So what is he going to do this with?
Commissioner Bruns,
What is he?
he spent money that wasn't his to spend.
Okay.
And then he came in for a reimbursement, and we gave it to him with him saying he wasn't going to spend it, and you saying you weren't going to spend it. And I'm trying to get the money back. Remember, I told y'all 6 weeks ago that $100,000 is a penny. It's a penny a tax.
It's actually around 90,000.
Okay, 90,000.
Well, just, like I said.
Go ahead and do your motion. Get it done. Let's
Judge,
get this
make-
done.
Make it clear, like I said earlier, we gave it twice.
Can I say something?
Sure.
We
Here
gave the
is
funds
it-
back twice, Judge.
Here's a check
I
register.
understand that. Y'all thought you'd already done it the first time. I was surprised how much conversation it took to get y'all to give something back that you thought you'd already given back, but we got that part done.
Yeah, 2.1 million on the first shot.
That's right.
And then the second shot, 2, 4, 5, 9, and 150 over there on the end. So
No, he
that's-
didn't give any.
It-
You gave 200,000, he gave 300,000, he gave
So
165,000.
600,000.
That's for this coming year's budget. That's this coming year's.
The budget we just
21.
built.
There
For
you go.
21.
The budget we
That's
just
right.
built.
That money didn't go into the general fund. Y'all took your expenditures and used your reserves basically.
So we took the $2 million that y'all gave,
To build up the special
And we-
counts. I know, I already know, I heard
bill
that.
the restricted.
I know, I heard that already. I know where that went.
I know you've heard it a number of times, but some people don't understand.
So I'll give my 89,000 if it's legal to recode that back. If it ain't, we
I'm
ain't
not
gonna do
gonna
it.
say it, because I don't know. He's the auditor. It's not up to me.
We can reclass invoices.
After the new budget has come in?
We're still coding invoices that are still coming in that relate to the old
They're
budget.
still reconciling bills and everything that comes in.
So how long can we reconcile?
I think I sent y'all an email that, not too long ago, or Lee did.
They ain't
Okay.
seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing.
No,
Well, in the past, you're going till like December. We're going to cut it off like the 1st of November.
No, we went to October 15th. They had to be turned in by October 15th.
Well, there were bills that came in after October 15th,
This year? We ain't got there this year.
last year.
You can't cut it off October 15th. If you order something the last week in September, you may not have the bill by then. That's not right. That's just not even close.
Look, we're going to accrue what's needed to be accrued. But just as an example, here's a check register of every check written in the past fiscal year that just ended September the 30th. And this is going to be posted on the county's website for everybody to look at. Precinct 1 has $377,000 in expenses. Payroll's not included on here. Precinct 2 has $270,000. Precinct 3 has $301,000. Precinct 4 has $274,000. Now, this is sort of upside down, because if you look at the road mileage, you go from close to 100 over here to 50 on that end. Alonzo, I think you've got 80-something or 90.
Right at 90.
Okay. So I don't know where the money's going.
You don't know where it's going. You pay the bill.
He spends more
You
money.
write the checks.
He spends more money on an annual basis.
Well, did he buy a helicopter or what? I mean, do you know where the money goes? You see the invoices. Did you see anything
Payroll.
weird in there, that a Bahama trip or something?
David, you're not funny.
Well,
Let him answer the question
nuts.
you've asked him. He can tell you where every dime went.
Do your deal and let's go. Please. What else?
There's no point in going any farther
Nope,
with this. It's
nope,
like-
not for me.
Let me have the numbers so that I'll get it exactly right. We'll only have to do it once.
You got this sheet?
89,000 for precinct 2.
Okay. Okay. Precinct 1, this in form of a motion. Precinct 1, 100 grand. Precinct 2, 89,000. Precinct 3, 150. Precinct 4, 95,000. That's a total of $434,000. I make a motion that you return that back to the general fund, and I need a second.
I'll second on amending that as precinct 4 only
You're out of
gives
line, sir.
21,000.
You're out
I
of
can
line.
second it and do an amendment. I'm seconding it.
Are you? Okay.
Yes,
go ahead.
sir, and I'm amending it to change precinct 4 to $21,188.22, not $95,000.
Okay.
There you go. That's a second.
All in,
Judge, on your motion, for precinct 3, how much were they giving back?
150?
150,000?
Yes, sir.
Mine didn't show anything.
150 for 3, 89 for 2, precinct 1, 100, and precinct 4 is going to put in $21,000.
I think it's right on the very front page, right there. Look on the front.
49,000 for precinct?
He's putting in 21,000.
I'm transferring to pay my over budget $21,188 out of the special road and bridge.
So let's vote.
You get a second?
I second that, brother.
Judge, with a stipulation, if it's legal, I want to stick that in there again, I'm sorry.
If it's legal.
I mean, I haven't heard of that doing after you adopted a budget, but
He's
anyway.
saying you can? Well, we've been doing, look,
Okay,
you know that the bills aren't in by October 1st. And he said October 15th. He said November 15th.
that's the first time I've heard November 15th, but
I said November the 1st.
November the,
November the 1st, I'm sorry.
so if everything is legal, we're going to transfer these funds back.
Because I had all of my bills in by the 1st, that's all I can tell you.
Well, you're the only one.
I had mine in too.
I got one coming in, and it was,
Is this going to be in a form of a budget line transfer, or how are we going to, whenever you,
Any monies that we move out of special is going to be where you reclass road and bridge material invoices. And then when we do the transfer out, it'll be just like the one that y'all had done previously.
Okay. we
And
have a
Judge, so I
motion
can be clear, I'm sorry. This is going to make us through the end of the year. Is
We
that
hope.
what you're saying?
We hope.
You hope.
So where we gonna get it next year?
I say that with a caveat.
You didn't worry about it when you spent the
Catastrophe.
I understand,
800 or 600,000
barring that.
It should.
on the auditorium or the 300 and whatever on the way services.
And, over.
But you need to point out to everybody that's here.
Over budget, buildings and yards, so let.
But
don't
here,
forget
but
those.
here's the deal, David.
Don't forget those two.
Here's the deal. You were a member of this court when y'all decided to approve both of those contracts that were illegal. You had never gone out for bids. Mickey had train company here to make a proposal. Y'all wouldn't have any part of it.
He came and gave his proposal.
Okay. But show me in the budget where those expenditures were budgeted.
They weren't. Okay. We've got a motion on the table and we've got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Does anyone have any public announcements they'd like to make? If not, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second?
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.